Hi, I'm Courtney, and today I will be discussing the Transformers film franchise directed by Michael Bay and why it sucks. The Transformers film franchise is made up of 5 movies, each directed by Michael Bay, with a 6th spin-off movie, Bumblebee, set to release this December. Mercifully, Bumblebee will be directed by Travis Knight, known for his work as a lead animator for stop-motion animation studio Laika, in his live-action directorial debut. Unfortunately, though, it looks like Michael Bay will be back and working as a producer for Bumblebee. Let's hope he doesn't touch it too much. Despite their financial success, the Transformers franchise has become despised by critics and fans alike. Now, I'm not saying that all these movies are hot garbage. In terms of visuals, these movies really hit the spot, but their plot, or lack thereof, really leaves something to be desired. The best way I can sum this up is that these films are all style, but no substance. There are many issues with the films that can be explained by just 2 words: Michael Bay. One of the reasons I personally dislike the series is the depiction of women in the films. Putting it bluntly, women in the Transformers film franchise are there for little more than their sex appeal. The number of named female characters of the series can fit on just one hand, with most being treated as little more than eye candy for the teenage boy audience that Bay is often accused of catering to as a director. Hint, it's very true. The female lead for the 3rd film, Carly, is introduced by a rising shot featuring her legs and then her butt as she slowly climbs up a set of stairs. A character's introduction is supposed to give you a feel for the character as a whole. What does this tell us of Carly? Nothing. It's just bad writing. Another glaring Michael Bay reason is the films themselves seem to be run on blatant product placement. Brands of everything and everything are on display, from electronics, beer and soft drinks, toys and electronics. Here's just a brief montage of a few way too obvious product placements in the Transformers films.
Can you wrangle me up some ding-dongs, darling?
To take down the defense network.
Are you okay?
What?
That's why the virus shut us down.
I'm not gonna leave you.
Take this flare. Okay, there's a tall... All right, Ironhide. You got it.
Just big ones. You have to go home for...
You think your little box of souvenirs...
And this area serves as the Autobots hangar.
Hey, gurus. Welcome to my empire, bro.
You anything suspicious to carry on today?
Yeah, live fuck! God, who's this?
Tiniest attacks ever.
Camera spotting of Sam. Robo Warrior.
Fully losing my mind.
35 East. It is...
Go nowhere. Drive.
Now. Scramble Predators.
My dad think it's a collector's item. Why don't you get a little dipping tray and dip the dog into Pepto? That's a solution.
We know who we are.
I'm the number he dials.
But if in fact this was a covert military strike...
So why was this found in human possession?
Wow.
We're the largest accounting firm in
Really throaty engine.
Mercedes-Benz SLS.
You drove this year? It's a $200,000 car.
May I finish my Shuhua milk, Donnie?
I don't care about your exotic milk.
Code name hero.
Back? Have here is an astronaut epidemic. And
That's when it's a hiding in America. And I just found him alive.
why wouldn't she be at home?
We had a fight and...
reactors have been triggered.
City. Our satellites have been jammed. We have no way to...
As if that isn't bad enough, here's this gem from the fourth film.
Okay. Sir? Is your car? Huh?
Gee, I wonder what product they were trying to advertise there. Perhaps the biggest issue of all is that the films just focus on humans way too much. As a narrative device, focusing on humans to introduce audiences to the Transformers works well the first time, but turning them into Godzilla-like movie monsters doesn't really work when they're intelligent beings with actual motivations. Throughout the 5 films, you learn essentially nothing about their war or their personal motivations. Why are the Autobots the good guys? What makes the Decepticons so bad? Just what caused the war on Cybertron to break out? None of the Transformers in any of the films are ever explored upon, leaving them all shallow and uninteresting as a whole. Not to mention the huge amount of plot holes throughout the entire franchise. It's like Bay just picked buzzwords from the franchise and plugged them into spots that would sound the coolest.
You die!
Of the beings fighting it, I suggest you watch the cartoon Transformers Prime. It has 3 seasons and a movie and quality character and plot development with some killer robot action scenes. Here's a small sample of the excellent world building in the series.
Do you recall when I mentioned that Optimus wasn't always a Prime? Well, he wasn't always Optimus either. He was once a clerk in the Iacon Hall of Records, named Orion Pax. But as he learned more about Cybertron's past, he grew increasingly concerned about the present corruption in high places and inequality among the masses. Orion became inspired by the words and ideas of a gladiator, one who had named himself after one of the 13 original primes, Megatronus. Megatronus vowed to challenge Cybertron's leadership and demand that all Cybertronians be treated as equals. This gladiator turned revolutionary rapidly gathered a loyal following, Soundwave chief among them. Orion began corresponding with Megatronus, who came to be something of a mentor to him. As Megatronus left the gladiatorial arena for the political, he saw fit to shorten his name. Before long, Megatron appeared before the High Council to propose his vision for a just society. And it was here that he began to reveal his true colors, proclaiming the need to overthrow the old guard with force, and arrogantly demanding to be named the next Prime. But Orion did not believe in violence as a means of achieving justice. The sparks and minds of the Council were moved by Orion's words. Here, for the first time since Cybertron's golden age, stood someone worthy of being a Prime. But that honor could only truly be achieved by earning the legendary Matrix of Leadership. His ambitions thwarted, Megatron spitefully severed all ties with Orion and the Council, and came to wage war on all who opposed him through his growing army of followers, which he named Decepticons. He vowed to claim the Matrix for himself, wherever it might lie. In time, warfare consumed Cybertron, poisoning the planet to its core. Orion journeyed there, hoping to reverse the ill effects, and found himself before the very spark of our life-giver, Primus himself. The ailing Primus sensed the innate nobility within Orion and bestowed the Matrix upon him. It was thus that a surprised and humbled Orion Pax came to be Optimus, the last of the Primes.
See, just 3 minutes in the Prime cartoon has explained the origin of the war and the motivations and personalities of its two most iconic characters. That's more plot and character development than all the 5 Transformers films combined. And another honorable mention is the currently running comic series. If you want a well-written story filled with action, drama, romance, friendship, rivalry, and most importantly, plot and character development, do yourself a favor and read Transformers More Than Meets the Eye and Robots in Disguise. They're a true gem. So as right now, I'm placing my hopes in the Bumblebee spin-off movie. Hopefully Bay will only have a minimal impact on the story as a whole, and if not, maybe someday Transformers will get the live-action masterpiece it really deserves.
All of us
and welcome to my design review show. My name is Emily Sonnenberg, and during my show I will be talking about and giving a little review about the spark that has been lit by Adobe. As many have known, Adobe has released a tool of design tools to help us create graphics and videos, and the flagship of this product line is Adobe Spark, which we'll be looking at today on my show. Follow me and let's take a look at what Adobe Spark is. Once you sign up for Adobe Spark for free, you're brought into their browser-based interface, which allows you to manage your projects and create new projects, as well as see what other people are doing. Now begin by clicking on the plus sign, which brings us into a selector that allows us to determine what type of graphic or what type of element we want to create. Now we can see at the top here that we have 3 different choices for Adobe Spark. We can begin by creating a post graphic, which is a graphic designed to go into a social post, a page, which I'll talk about in a moment, or a video. So 3 different choices here. So creating a page is a standalone web page. I have to mention that it's not a web page that's going to go into a live site like your WordPress site. This is a feature that isn't as popular, but I still wanted to mention its use and that it can be helpful depending on what you're doing. So let's take a look at video. Now that I have to tell you, this is not the classic video like I'm doing right now. This is for slideshow type purposes and for animated videos that can really kind of tell a story narrative. So I'll go a little in detail on this in a little bit, but I want to focus on post graphic. So let's begin by starting with the post graphic. So now I'm brought into a new interface here, and we can either start with branding or we can start from scratch. I'm going to start with scratch. And for here, they ask you what kind of format you'd like. So this is talking about size orientation. We can have optimized for different social platforms like Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. So let's create a Facebook ad, and we're brought into a new site here. We can use stock photos or we can upload our own. I'm going to use just a stock photo for now. So here we are brought into a new interface which we can now manipulate our photo. So before I go in here and I explain this, I want to mention that this does sound like another familiar product that we looked at in the past. Yeah, it looks a lot like Canva at this point because it's designed to do the same thing. Both Spark and Canva are both designed to create social sharing graphics. This just happens to be Adobe's sign-on and particular version of Canva, and pretty much vice versa. And it's pretty much free out of the gate, and like Canva, it does a pretty much awesome job. So let's create our Facebook ad here, and we're going to format this graphic into our selector and give us kind of on the bar here, it gives us ideas of themes, palettes, photos, text, and there's all different elements that can go into this graphic here. So the cool thing about this is that Adobe brings all of their color management and fonts into this place and all of their intel, and we can look at their advice on what they would want us to use. So for instance, if I would use this, I can use their background and it can manipulate my photo as well as keep that format. So this is kind of all of Spark, for the post graphic. I just want to mention one quick thing here is you can share it directly to Facebook, you can publish it, email it, or you can also download it, which I usually always do. So this was a really quick kind of explanation of what it can do. I know by no means this was professionally or anything. I was just messing around and kind of just showing you the gist of how this works. So before we wrap up here, I want to show you the video version. I'm not going to really dive much into the web page because that's also very self-explanatory, but the video is really cool tool and what's used. So it's going to begin by asking you your kind of idea, your storyline. So let's just write Spark here, and it's going to give you a bunch of templates that you can use. So you can make up your own, you can do tell it what happened. Let's just promote an idea for now. So I'm going to start off by playing this little introduction because I think they give you a really great, just an idea of how this is, how this works. So that really gave us a really pretty much the basics of the whole video little thing tool they have here. So as you can see, you can upload your own photo like they talked about. Let's upload one of mine. Let's go to downloads. Let's find a cool picture of a pineapple. Okay, so now that we have that, I have my branding in the corner here that I can turn off if I want. And each of these are like individual slides that will create the video. So again, really self-explanatory. I can put my text here. And then you can drag and drop it. So I can put it, it gives you these corners that, are very adjustable, and this is by no means perfect or professional video software. This is made for people that really don't know any design experience, or don't have any design experience, or really just want to do something really quick and easy for platforms. So you can also add the icons and type in, they have a little bit of kind of stock icons that you can use in the corners or as your branding if you'd like. I like that you can upload your own photos and you can add captions. They just give you a lot of different usage, and you can even put on your website. You can resize it, which I really like. You can do a square format or widescreen. And I love that you can download music here for free as Adobe's stock music, or you can upload your own, of course. And they just give you a bunch of layouts as well and themes to work with. So please come in here and explore this. It's just such a great tool that I think that you will like to use. So that's all I have for the interface here. I'm going to save my changes, and just like the other one, you can download or you can share it, and you can also preview it before you do anything like that. So there I go. So essentially, Adobe Spark is a social graphic creation tool from our friends at Adobe that allows us to create a variety of different type of post graphics and a variety of different slideshows, animated slideshows, as well as some web pages should we choose. It brings Adobe's incredible sense of design and typography to bear. We can use their pre-built backgrounds and images, or we can import our backgrounds and images. They have a bunch of license-free music that we can incorporate should we choose, or of course, we can bring our own as well. Overall, I think Adobe Spark is well worth you spending a few extra minutes exploring. If you're like me, it might end up being one of your new favorite social tools. I hope you find my video today useful. Thanks for tuning in.
Hello everyone, my name is Luis, the host of Plug and Play, your semi-regular dose of video game news and reviews. Hope you're all awake this lovely morning, but if not, now you are. So, let's kick off our news segment with the arrival of Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, released just a week and a half ago, just to see what all the commotion is about. So, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee are the Gen 8 games of the Pokemon franchise, released for the Nintendo Switch. So, from the looks of gameplay footage and trailers, the game seems to be a complete recreation of the Gen 1 Pokemon games, Red, Blue, and Yellow. Well, mostly Yellow, and also with a Pokemon Go twist thrown into there. So, your adventure begins as Red or Leaf from Pallet Town. Get a Pikachu or an Eevee as your starter, then play it like most of the Pokemon games. What seems really interesting about this one, though, is the catching mechanic. It looks very similar to Pokemon Go, and you can even play with a friend to catch a Pokemon together. Not to mention, the way you interact with Pokemon is very interesting. Instead of just walking into tall grass and randomly encountering one, you can see where they are. So, I can't really tell you too much except for what the trailers show, because I have not really played the game, and I might not even get one, but who knows. The strangest thing is, though, that whenever I see the gameplay footage and everything, I get the same weird, nostalgic, yet awe-inspiring feeling that when I first saw someone play Pokemon X and Y, the first handheld 3D Pokemon game, mind you, which I have myself. So who knows what's in the future for this franchise? Stick around and see. So, I know we've reviewed some good games in this section, but get ready, the first and possibly only bad game I'll review here. Honestly, I'm not even sure I can call it a game. It's so cheaply made and so bad, it's actually almost ironically good. I'm going to be talking about Big Rigs Over-the-Road Racing. So, Big Rigs is famously bad, being reviewed by the likes of the Angry Video Game Nerd and also the Super Gaming Brothers. So, this game was developed by a company called Stellarstone, a company nobody has ever heard about that produced games for incredibly low budgets of around $15,000, and boy does it show. Now, before you even start the game, the box just flat out lies to you. Apparently, you're supposed to be racing somebody while avoiding the police and carrying illegal cargo. But there is no cargo, there is no police, and your opponent might as well be a cardboard cutout. Big Rig starts you off directly at the menu. Yes, unlike other games where there's a copyright screen, logos, or something, this game has none of that. It jumps you directly into the menu. Once you start the game, you can choose one of 4 trucks which have no impact on the race whatsoever, as the play is exactly the same and are only cosmetic. There are 5 stages to race in, but they're all bleak, boring, and one of them just flat out crashes the game. Once you start, you're pretty much the only living thing in the entire area. There are no NPCs in the sidelines, and your opponent doesn't move 98% of the time. And the times they do move, they will never finish the race, choosing to stop mere feet before the finish line, so it's absolutely impossible to lose. And no, you weren't reading the screen wrong. That's actual text from the game. Someone needs a spelling class. The programming, if there was any, is almost non-existent, if you could already tell. But I haven't even gotten to the best part, the truck itself. Instead of blaming it on a faulty physics engine that the truck is out, think imagine that the truck is outfitted in some advanced super space age technology. So there is absolutely nothing holding your truck back. The quantum phaser within the engine allows you to pass through houses, light poles, and bridges like they're not even there. The interdimensional space jump warp allows you to scale mountains and exit the boundaries of reality in order to enter a new plane of existence. But the best part lies within its ultra hyperdrive thrusters created by the gods themselves, allowing for faster than light travel while in reverse. Yeah, you're seeing this right. This truck is going beyond hyperdrive. Screw you, Spaceball 1. We have gone beyond plaid right into polka dot. So, after that, what's my final verdict on the game? Honestly, it's so badly programmed, so poorly made, I don't even think it should get a score. Do yourself a favor and only download it if you want a good laugh. Otherwise, it's not worth it. Now, because you all want to hear me say it, I'm giving this game a negative 10 out of 10. It's so terrible, it's almost good. So, that ends this week's session of Plug and Play. Tune in next time for more news and reviews. See you next time, and remember, you're always winner, no matter what anyone says. Bye.